universal peer review voluntary pledges in 2011. However, since then, the process has stalled despite having a draft in place. This initiative is not just a policy framework, but a commitment to the dignity, freedom, and well-being of every Ugandan. We therefore request for your indulgence and support to have the National Action Plan passed. Honorable Speaker, it is important to recognize that the protection and promotion of human rights is a collective responsibility. We therefore urge this august House to consider the recommendations within this report, especially those requiring legislative or budgetary action to ensure that the fundamental rights and freedoms of all Ugandans are upheld. It is therefore our hope that Parliament, the Executive, and all institutions of government to which recommendations have been made will give due attention to the respective issues raised. We are fully convinced that implementation of the recommendations made will greatly enhance the protection and promotion of human rights in the country. Before I conclude, allow me to once again express our appreciation to Parliament for your continued support rendered to the Commission and to reaffirm our readiness to collaborate with all branches of government to advance the human rights agenda in Uganda. Right Honorable Speaker, these are the highlights in the 27th annual report. As I table this report before you today, Right Honorable Speaker, I trust that it will contribute meaningfully to national dialogue, policy direction, and the strengthening of our institutions to safeguard the dignity and rights of every Ugandan. We also urge the Human Rights Committee of Parliament to consider this report with all the importance it deserves and follow up on the recommendations with various ministries, departments, and agencies. I now have the honor to present to you, Right Honorable Speaker, the 27th annual report of the Uganda Human Rights Commission on the state of human rights in 2024 for God and my country.
Please, Caleb. Can you switch off for a moment this machine? Thank you. We are very sorry. The congestion in this building is such that our air needs to be supplemented with artificial air. I was saying that at these moments, we met in the committee of legal and we made a good case for enhancement of your capabilities. And I hope our recommendation to finance will be considered to be able to backstop you, to be able to surround the entire country and address and report the situation of human rights. As Parliament, our oversight role is not just on you and your team, but also on all institutions that relate with our people. Invariably, the complaints raised by various stakeholders have been partly touched in this report, including your concerns and complaints. I'll pick a few issues that you've been able now to go beyond the traditional human rights, which are the common cases of abuse, including illegal arrests, illegal detentions. You're now going further to go into other rights because the whole scale of rights is broad. And I want to invite you to continue in expanding, including in the future, when you get resources, to explore the issue of violation of our living environment. Because a violation under the law, environmental degradation is a very huge matter. And the violators are big people, they're well-resourced, they're contaminating our natural environment. Subsequently, the activities are impacting on the living conditions of the poor people. So will you be encouraged to expand further and do an expose of these violations of our environment? It's a very serious matter. Now that you have gone into new areas, hitherto not considered as critical human rights issues. I'd like to invite you, Madam, to probably refocus your budget. You had that conversation in the committee. I hope you'll pick it, so that the number of investigations grow, because it's the core mandate. I can appreciate the fact that the resources we are curtailing your reach, but we shall even fare better if the small resource envelope is focused on the core mandate. The world will appreciate you. Probably you will be in a good position to even make a case before Parliament. The second issue I'd like to comment on is we shared it here in the committee. I want to re-echo it, that there are complaints that the amounts given to the complainants, the victims, are very meager. And I hope you can still look at it in a broad way. Your training as a lawyer and as a judge, look at the ages of these people, what they have done in the time they have lost, and look at all those considerations. We may not look at the poverty of the country, but the nature of violation, because this is the best way. Now that we focus, the compensation is changed from being broad to the violators. When their budget shrink, probably that's when we shall have sensibility return. You have a monitoring team headed by Madam Ruth. You need to continue monitoring. I'm happy that you are talking about the need for boats. You're mentioning Kalangala and Buvuma. I want to inform you that all lake areas of fishing communities are facing very serious violations. You need to be interested. When I was leader of the opposition, I toured some communities, and the communities powered out. And it was difficult for me. I implored the Committee of Human Rights in Parliament to follow up with the matter, but probably it was constrained. Now that you have this core mandate, you may not wait for the procurement of speedboats. You may have to find it in your budget to reach out to the communities in the fishing communities. The violation is there and despicable, and the violators know that's very difficult for you to go there. So they can get away with anything, including murder. Property has been burnt. Nobody cares. Community leaders are terrorized. They're in fear. So it's your constitutional mandate. I want to encourage you to explore the state of human rights in the fishing communities. It's been a big issue. I raised a motion in Parliament about it. Sometimes Parliament is slow, and it's understandable when you handle certain things. But this being your core mandate, Madam, I would like to invite you to push this. The commitment I take on behalf of the Speaker and Parliament is to follow up on commitments like a NAP, such that the ministers responsible, that should be Minister of Justice, do follow up and complete these policy obligations, such that your hands are not tied. The third issue I'd like to speak about is the congestion in the prisons. It was a matter on the floor of Parliament, I think 2 days ago, but policymakers do not seem to have an agreeable framework on how to deal with it. And I contend that you are part of the JLOS framework. My personal view is different. There are those who believe that we should enlarge the prisons to reduce congestion. My view is that we should instead speed up prosecution, recruit more prosecutors, recruit more magistrates, not expanding prisons. That for me is not a solution. Because at the end of the day, you'll discover that majority of the people that are in jail for a donkey's years actually have no case to answer. But because of poor investigations, slow prosecution processes, they're rotting away in jails. So can you lead the charge to find something more appropriate? I can assure you that Parliament has tried to grant whatever the judiciary has asked in form of more magistrates. I believe they're going to even recruit more prosecutors. You can try to find out whether they're actually living up to their billing. They have asked for more personnel. Congestion cannot be solved by expanding prisons. For me, the solution is enhancing the speed of hearing cases by availing personnel and resources so that the judiciary is able to hold sessions in the regions where there are no courts. But you can also lead the charge to advise on the best way of dealing with the congestion in prisons, because we encounter it every day as lawyers. We go to this prison to see clients, and it's very, very bad. They are falling sick. They're contracting diseases hitherto not they never had. So I encourage you to follow it up. And I would like to again thank you most sincerely with your team. I know what you're doing is not charity, and it's a no thank you job. Continue doing it. And the skies are not clear in our country in this period. You probably need in earnest to raise a red flag to all and sundry to say you are the Human Rights Commission, and therefore you will not cover up for anybody. I have read, I think you have also read, a report of the state of the safety of journalists in Uganda from the, is it the journalists, human rights for journalists something network, yes, and it was implicating politicians even from the opposition for violating the rights of journalists. So please raise the red flag in earnest, because very soon darkness could set up at noon. But if you're at the center with courage to say, this is our country, we have only this country called home, we can all fit into this one country, our rims of tolerance need to raise a bit in these times. Once again, on behalf of the Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to congratulate you and encourage you to do your work without fear or favor, because the Constitution obliges you and it will defend you. Thank you so much.